The last couple of weeks I've been looking for a new watch. The last few times I bought a new watch, I bought one online. You can get cheap ones online, but if they break, you're kind of stuck. On the other hand, if you buy a watch at a local shop and it breaks or you need service, it's a lot easier. It's not such a big deal, so I'm not in any hurry to get this done. I was leaving this place a couple of weeks ago, and this Australian girl that was part of the group I was in asked for a ride. She knew where I was going, and she knew it was close to where she needed to go. I said sure, and she jumped in. Just before we got to where her stop was, she said, "Let me out here next to the zebra crossing." My brain froze for a split second before I realized what she meant. Then I tried to come up with a joke, but she got out of the car before the joke got out of my brain. The idea of form and function can be found in a lot of places. A lot of things are described by their form or what they look like. Other things are described by their function or what they do. A correlation can be found between our inner state and our outer behavior, how we feel inside versus how we express ourselves on the outside. Being congruent can mean having an outer expression that matches perfectly with your inner state. But some theories say it's impossible to not do this, that there is a direct biological connection between our inner state and our outer behavior. In this case, being congruent only refers to your inner state, to believing something 100%, which is difficult. But it's also possible to understand somebody's inner state by being completely aware of their outer behavior. One easy way to do this is to get into very deep rapport. Once you are in deep rapport, your inner state will match their inner state. This requires that you temporarily turn off your ego, which always wants to lead. If you can turn off your ego and get yourself in a congruent following state, your inner state will match their inner state, which means you'll be able to read their emotions. You'll be able to understand their thoughts. You'll be able to understand the decisions they are about to make. This means you'll be able to speak to people on a very deep level. This means you'll be able to speak to people on a very profound level. Even if you don't speak to them, you'll understand everything about them. You'll understand their deepest fears. You'll understand their deepest desires. You'll understand their deepest unmet needs. If you practice this, you can be a collector of inner human thoughts to later leverage however you want. One interesting way to see form versus function is in food. Some restaurants look like dumps. The place isn't clean. The food doesn't even look good. But then you find out that this is absolutely delicious. The form is ugly, but the function, the taste is wonderful. On the other hand, there are plenty of trendy restaurants that specialize in food that look absolutely beautiful on your plate. This is the kind of place people go so that they can take pictures of their food and put it on their Instagram. The Japanese try to maximize both. They have a saying that Japanese food is meant to be enjoyed twice, once in the presentation and twice in the taste. The joke I wanted to say was that I didn't see any zebras. When she said let her out next to the zebra crossing, my American brain immediately thought of a place in the road where zebras walk across. But I guess in Australia they call them zebra crossings because that's what they look like. They are named based on their form, the painted white lines in the street, where in America we call them based on their function, which is a crosswalk. Watches are something that are heavily tilted towards form. If you only wanted a watch that could tell time, you would only need to spend a couple of bucks. But since you can spend thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, watches are something that only need to have a minimum amount of function and a maximum amount of form.